In between the lines, where nothing is out of bounds and adversity is an opportunity to adjust and overcome. We're your hosts. I'm Sevon Williams, my brother, co-host, and college football Hall of Famer Joe Ham on the other side of me. Joe, we talking all things college football playoffs today. How are you feeling?
Excited just because of what you just mentioned. College football playoff starts tomorrow, and a lot of good matchups, a lot of really, really good players, and also really good coaches. So you have some time off, and most importantly, Vaughn, I'm looking for those guys, for those teams, for those creative defensive coordinators and offensive coordinators to see what they've been drawing up in the dirt, so to speak, what new wrinkles they're going to have to show the opponent. So I'm excited, man. College football is here since the start of August or late August to right now, man. This is what you schedule for. This is what you go through your conference scheduling for, competing, depth chart. So now you're here with your roster, and hopefully all teams are healthy and ready to go. We don't want anybody to be short-handed, so to speak, because now is where you separate the big boys from the middle schoolers, so to speak.
That's absolutely right. And as we take a look here at the actual college football playoff brackets, uh, we gonna start off first. We can do it however you may want to do it, Joe. If you want to first give your predictions of who you have to win it all before we go over the first week or first round of games, or do you want to go
Well,
over the first round games and then pick your prediction of who you got to win to be in the national championship and to win the natty?
well, it's hard to do that way. Do it that way, Vaughn, because if you're trying to pick the natty, that's assuming somebody's going to come out of this picking today. What
Right.
if what if somebody loses? And there's four teams that's not going to be playing, so it's hard to do the natty overall without seeing any other team play. So I just think you're going to eventually have to do that. We're just going to have to hold ourselves to the fire and have the honor code, so to speak, to say if you had Miami, we go at the beginning. Don't say because they lose already to Texas A&M that you're going to say I'm going to change teams. So if you have any of those teams, I would say that if you have any of those teams that's going to play this weekend in your championship bracket or to win the national championship, you need to go ahead and say that that's the team I think is going to win it. Otherwise, I think we can wait off that prediction and just predict the games at hand.
Well, you know my teams ain't changing up no way, or my squad ain't changing up no way. It's number two, but we'll go through the first round. We're gonna go through the first round
Yes,
first,
yes.
and then we'll get to who we got to win it all. So first up, of course, and this will be the first game played, will be Oklahoma Sooners versus the Alabama Crimson Tide. This game will be played in Oklahoma, so home field advantage for Oklahoma, you would say. And this is the Friday night game, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I believe. So, Joe, who do you like? What's your thoughts in regards to this matchup?
Well, it's a really good matchup. I love the fact that those are blue bloods, tradition-rich teams playing in Oklahoma and Alabama. I love the fact that it's played on a campus. Can you imagine that campus in Oklahoma? The bedlam, the just the pageantry that they're going to go through, the hypeness of it, the tailgating at night, 8 o'clock. That's what it's all about. So that's going to be a home field advantage for Oklahoma. And let's face it, from last year and this year, Oklahoma is going for a 3 game winning streak against Alabama. So Oklahoma has been Alabama's kryptonite, so to speak. So I'm picking Alabama in this one just because Oklahoma doesn't have a lot of offense. Matia, the quarterback, has been injured. He hadn't been playing well since he came back from a shoulder injury. So and I just trust Alabama a little bit more, getting those guys healthy, their skill position. If Ryan Williams can forget about the dropsies that he's had all year long, I don't know what happened to him as far as his confidence in being the dominant player that he was last year. But overall, I just think Ty Simpson, Alabama's quarterback, and that offense, although Oklahoma Sooners and Brent Venables, they have a very good defense. And that's what won out in Tuscaloosa, where Oklahoma went on the road and where we beat those guys early in the season. But in a close one, I'm going to go the away team, road team in Alabama Crimson Tide, and that's going against my heart a little bit because I think it's going to be tough. And when you beat a team early in the season, you have that number. And Brent Venables, the way he shuts down offensive schemes, I'm going against my gut feeling, but I have to go road Tide.
Well, it's certainly going to be an interesting one. I think this is going to be one of the toughest games out of the four that we have in regards to this weekend. Looking forward to this one, Oklahoma versus Bama. I don't know if Bama's offense is going to show up because certainly they didn't do much against UGA, but I don't know if I can foresee Alabama letdown 2 years in a row. They've been saying it's been a lot of talk about DeBoer leaving Alabama. Who's to say whether or not it's substantial or if this is just rumors or maybe his mind is thinking about the Michigan job.
Oh no, no.
You think he's happy and staying put?
Well, circumstances change. Right now, I mean, he hadn't played the game against Oklahoma. If he or they were to lose against Oklahoma, I don't know what would go through his mind. I'm sure the Alabama faithfuls, they're not going to like it. I mean, because that's 8 games in 2 years that he would have lost already in his tenure. So they're not used to that in Tuscaloosa. So, with that being said, Vaughn, I don't think he's thinking about the Michigan job right now. But if you lose to Oklahoma in the first round, get ousted, and you did not make it to the college football playoffs last year, they might run you out of town to Michigan, looking at the Alabama fans. So I don't think he's thinking about that, but that's going to be the rumors, and I don't think it's a distraction. But you have to think about, you say you don't think that letdown or Alabama's going to let them slip or let Oklahoma beat them twice. I think I have to get out of too much respect in Alabama like they're the old Nick Saban coached Alabama. We've
Right.
seen them for 2 years, so we can't think that they're going to show up with talent, show up and just because of intimidation beat other teams. It's not going to work like that. Those other teams, it's caught up a little bit, and I think the coaching is even is level now that it had been with Nick Saban on the sideline.
Well, it's certainly going to be interesting to see. I expect much better play from is his name Ty Simpson, the quarterback from Alabama.
Yes, that's
Much
correct.
better play. I don't think you can do much worse than what he was putting up in the SEC championship. Oklahoma does have a solid defense. However, shout out to Jeffrey and shout out to Newberry, old Pope, Oklahoma State. I can't bet on Oklahoma or I can't pick Oklahoma. I'm going Bama to advance as well on the road. Next up, we have. Oh, this is gonna be the good one for all my Buckeye Nation is gonna be tuned in to this one. We got Texas A&M versus the University of Miami Hurricanes. Joe, who you like? What you think in regards to this game?
This is a tough one, man. These are two different opinions as far as who I think should win and why. Because here you look at the talent, here you look at the balance. I think they're equal teams, dominant in the trenches. Texas A&M, outstanding O-line, outstanding D-line. Miami Hurricanes, outstanding D-line, might be the best D-line in the country. Ruben Baines Jr., top 5, top 10 pick, and the other defensive end, they get after it. You hear me? They really get after it. So it's going to be strength against strength in the trenches who can get to the quarterback and affect the opposing team's quarterback. You have Reed from Texas A&M who's had an outstanding season, 30-plus touchdowns total. Texas A&M again, they're home with what we call the 12th man. That 12th man is going to be a factor. It's going to be loud. It's going to be rowdy. But the X factor in the entire game, skill position all across the board. Wide receivers for Texas A&M, wide receivers for the Miami Hurricanes. Malachi Tony, the true freshman from the Miami Hurricanes, he's an outstanding player. Not alone freshman, he's one of the best players in the playoffs right now as we speak. But Carson Beck, which Carson Beck in a big game are we going to see? We've seen him throw a lot of picks in big games when he was at Georgia. This season, I mean, his first season with the Miami Hurricanes, he did the same thing. What are we going to see? Who are we going to see? And that's going to be the big deal. And the two losses that the Hurricanes had this season, he had 6 total picks. That's who I worry about. Miami's the dark horse. I love them really to carry it all the way to the top in my gut feeling, but I'm definitely going to ride my gut feeling and pick Miami to beat Texas A&M in this one, just because I think Carson Beck with his experience, not all great experience as far as great performances, but his experience and the skill set around him, they're going to pull it out on the road against Texas A&M.
I would like to think as well that Carson Beck done played in a lot of big games, and we've seen time and time again him come up short in a lot of big games. As you
Yes.
stated, the experience should play a role or should be a factor that could lead Miami over the hump. However, just like you stated as well, they playing in the 12th man, and it's nothing like if any quarterback was gonna be rattled, this is the
Yeah.
place to rattle them. As much as I would want, man, I want to. I something is telling me A&M is gonna get it, but as an Ohio State just lover and part of the Buckeye Nation, I would love to just see Miami again. We haven't seen them. We
Oh.
haven't seen them in quite some time since we held that trophy up in the Fiesta Bowl. I believe that was the last time that we ran up against them. So I'm going Miami as well to win on the road. It's gonna be tough, but I won't be surprised if A&M go ahead and take care of the Hurricanes. But that's gonna be a pick'em game. But like you said, it's depending on which Carson Beck shows up.
No
That's
doubt.
that's really that's what it's gonna come down to. Now next up, our Saturday. Well, we the first Saturday
Yeah,
game
this
we just
this
went
should
over.
be quick. This
Yeah,
should be quick, Vaughn. I mean,
this ain't
this
gonna
is
take
crazy,
much.
man.
This ain't gonna take much to speak on. But you got the Tulane versus Ole Miss, and they'll be in Ole Miss. Joe, who you got? Who you like?
I like Ole Miss. No doubt about it. When you talk about these teams that's going to play Ole Miss, down at Ole Miss at home. They're going to be fired up. The crowd is going to be fired up. But it's their opportunity to get a game under their belt under the new regime without Lane Kiffin. They're going to get acclimated to be how things are going to go without his voice being in the meeting rooms, without his voice being on the sideline on game day. So it's almost going to be a warm up preseason type game for Ole Miss. Now it doesn't seem that way, but and it's not a bye week. I'm not going to disrespect Tulane that bad to say it's a bye week, but they can also tune up some things and hone in on some things because that's an opponent they should be able to overpower. It's going to be about the X's and O's, but more so the Jimmys and Joes is just too much for Tulane to overcome. And for Tulane and John Summerall, that's his last game coaching on that sideline. They're going to be ready to go. They're going to empty the tank for him, but I don't see them hanging with Ole Miss that long, even though that you might say, where's Lane Kiffin? That's going to have a factor. It's not. It's not at all. I think they cover Ole Miss, and I think it's going to be a blowout, more than 20 points.
Wow, 20-point blowout. I'm gonna give Tulane the benefit of the doubt. Say they lose by maybe. I hate that. So what do you think? I feel like obviously Ole Miss is gonna be packed behind a football team with Lane Kiffin being gone. That's gonna just galvanize the whole city, the whole state to be at the game. However, Tulane, if they play a perfect game, keep it close to the fourth quarter. We've seen upsets like Boise State that year they beat Oklahoma, but we don't necessarily see Cinderella's winning games. Like maybe you can pull off a bowl game, but this is the
Right,
college
right.
football playoffs.
That's right.
I'm not gonna say Tulane beat by 20. I'll say Ole Miss by 10 at the minimum, just because them Bulldogs are or the gridiron, the boys up front should be able to handle their business and separate the pros from just a really good Tulane football team.
No, well, Tulane can't do it. Vaughn, Tulane don't have it. You're gonna come out and be fired up, but uh, only thing you're hoping for, only thing you're thinking about is that Ole Miss is missing Lane Kiffin, or Ole Miss forgot how to play, or they had a lot of guys into the transfer portal that opted out, and those things did not happen. So Ole Miss is going to be the team that they were all season that had them number 6 ranked in the college football playoff. That's just the bottom line. And it's going to have those guys with their chip. Don't forget about the chip that those coaches, the chip that those players are going to have as far as, yeah, y'all think all we were was Lane Kiffin? Y'all think that's what made us go be nothing without him? So they're going to play a little bit fired up with a little bit of something to prove that is more about the scheme and some of those guys just than just about one person in Lane Kiffin.
Well, you're absolutely right. This game I'll just be checking into. I don't know if, like we said, this might be over before it start. However, I don't want to disrespect Tulane
That's right.
from
That's
having
right.
a great season. So they may shock us all. Lastly, and I think this one will be even worse than the Tulane game. You got James Madison out of Virginia traveling all the way across the United States to Eugene, Oregon for a night game. I expect Oregon to put up 1,000 yards. Now,
Right.
obviously, I'm exaggerating, but I won't be surprised if they put up 700 yards total offense. Um, Oregon big, that Oregon advance. That's my prediction. What you got in regards to this Oregon James Madison, Joe?
Oregon advanced. Shout out to James Madison for having those guys be able to maybe have a tour of the Nike complex, being over there across country, coming from James Madison, and having fun that way. Looking at and getting a swag bag that they're going to give up for making the college football playoff. So not diminishing their season at all, but it stops here. It stops here, and don't feel bad about the score, the final score. About did you empty the tank? Did you go out there and play to your best abilities and let the chip fall where they may, so to speak. So other than that, it's going to be a mismatch. And for Ole Miss and Oregon, somewhat of a bye week, Vaughn. And I wouldn't say they earned it, but they got the luck of the draw to know that this spread, as far as Ole Miss and Oregon goes, this is higher. This is higher than the spreads in the bowl games. So
Right.
you got playoff games, Vaughn. You got playoff games where teams are favored by 21 points and 16 points. That's where it gets a little touchy. So to your point, let's not take anything away from James Madison and Tulane. They did not do anything wrong. If you want to blame anybody, blame Duke or blame the ACC for not having a representative out of their conference that won the championship be able to go in the playoffs. So with that being said, warm up week, warm up game, rest the starters in the third and fourth quarter type game for Oregon. I think they roll over James Madison.
Well, and that's certainly understandable. Lastly, we'll go back to our brackets. So thus far, we have. I think both of us agreed. We think Alabama pulls out the upset in Norman. We got Oregon advancing to James Madison. So the winner of this game will play Texas A&M. I mean Texas Tech. The winner of the Oklahoma Alabama will play the number one in the nation and team of Heisman winner Fernando Mendoza, Texas A&M and Miami. Who did you choose? Who you got?
Miami.
Miami as well. I'm hoping that they win so they can see my Buckeyes. And then we both got Ole Miss advancing to pretty much a bye week to be seeing the Georgia Bulldogs. So now we don't have to break. We'll do the breakdown in regards to the next week. But now we gonna get to who you got to win it all, Joe. We need your national champion right now, right here, right now. Who's your champion prediction? Do I need to put it back up? You know what team's in here.
Wow, this is a tough one, bro. This is a tough one right here because I had the matchup that was once number one in the nation and number two in the nation. in the first 5, maybe first 4 to 5 weeks into the college football season, Miami and Ohio State. But they're going to meet in the next round. They're going to meet in the quarterfinals. And I have Ohio State being a better team. But I'm going to go out on the limb, and I'm going to go out and stick by my gun and stick with my team, stick what conference I'm from, what conference I love the best. And I think Miami has a good team, and I'm going to ride the hot hand or hopefully the hot Carson Beck, that he can play his best ball when it counts. I'm going to ride the Miami Hurricanes to win the national championship.
Well, you made a big mistake. You
Well,
lost off my hat. You already know what time it is. It's Buckeye time. We really just taking this week after Jeremiah Smith was robbed of winning top receiver of the year. I'm not gonna say Julian Sayin by any means was robbed, but after losing a Big Ten championship, you can almost guarantee.
no, you can't even come close to guaranteeing anything.
Hey, I know my squad. I know the momentum that we moving with right now. We don't lose much.
Where did y'all get the momentum from?
We got that edge back on us because we didn't win Big Ten. We didn't win the Heisman. Our Heisman winner, our wide receiver, who is by far the best player in college football, again for its second year in a row, didn't win his award. So we playing with an edge. And you got people like yourself that believe that Miami is gonna beat us or come in our house, not even in our house because it'll be a neutral site, but come and beat us after even they got to get past A&M. I don't see Carson Beck doing it. Yeah, I was gonna go down with the tank regardless, but I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really good in regard Georgia. I said I wanted to play Georgia. I was hoping we could get Georgia in the national championship, but by any means, Georgia offense don't really scare me. Their defense is scary. But last year we lost 13-10 to Michigan, went on to win the national championship. This year we lost 13-10 to Indiana. We going on to win the national championship.
I'm not gonna come back that.
Hopefully we get a chance to see Indiana in the championship. I would love to see them advance on the other end. But yeah, I want to beat Miami, UGA, and Indiana. Then it's no question.
Well, you will have a chance. You will have a chance, and I'll tell you, that would be a no-brainer type of championship if you can beat those teams that you just called out. That would be the number 3 team in the nation you would beat. That would be the number 1 team in the nation you would beat, and a very, very talented team. In my prediction, if Miami move on, the Hurricanes y'all would have beaten. So yeah, but Julian saying, I just want to see him. I want to see him in the big moments. He is a redshirt freshman, so I want to see him perform. But that was a tough one for me to pick Miami over Ohio State. But I just think the Carson Beck that's going to show up might be enough for Miami to hold up a trophy that they didn't hold up in a long time.
Well, this must be a clone because we ain't seen that Carson Beck ever in his 4 years in college football, or even when he was previously in UGA. So we'll see. We'll see. I like Ryan Day to get the job done. He gonna show that we can bounce back after a loss, and he can get those boys focused to do what needs to be done. Our defense still ain't really gave up much all season, so we still riding on a high horse, and just expect us to survive in advance. We ain't saying we gonna roll on teams like we did last year. Tennessee, who did we beat in the first? Was it Tennessee first and then Indiana, or was it Indiana, Tennessee, Texas, and then Notre Dame?
I don't know. I don't know who it was.
We beat Tennessee. We beat Nico out. We got Nico up out of there.
Yeah, but just like every time somebody else try to go back and forth and talk about past, you want to go in the past. You got to move forward now.
I'm just trying to think what was the road. That's all I'm saying. I'm just trying to think what our road was last year. But we see right now on the board what our road will be this year. And I want Buckeye Nation to like and follow. Comment, just let me know what y'all think. Who would y'all rather play? A&M or Miami? Again, I would love to play Miami, UGA, and then get our rematch against Indiana in the national championship. But Indiana got to take care of their business on their side. Texas Tech, they going to have a road against Oregon. We're going to see some good games despite James Madison and what Tulane might present for us this first week. But at least we got 2 out of the 4 that should be some really good games, Joe. And I'm looking forward to it.
No doubt about it, brother.
Well, this is In Between the Lines. If your team is in the college football playoffs, comment below what your team is or who your team is. Any predictions you have thus far, who you think gonna advance, and go ahead. Don't wait until the championship to try and give predictions. Give your predictions right now. Who gonna win the Natty? I got Ohio State, of course. Joe choosing Miami. Who you got? Comment below and be sure to subscribe to the channel. Peace.
Peace.